Hey, happy Friday. It's actually Tuesday of this week. I'm beginning my journey north to Redding from San Francisco. And yes, I like to travel slow, take it easy on me and the truck. I'm actually going to stop for the night at Mare Island. That'll be the first stop of the day and walk around and show you some of the cool stuff out there. It's a historic naval shipyard near Vallejo. And I've spent the night there a couple times in the past, but never really shot anything out there, so I think it's time. But right now I'm just taking a little morning stretch walk on the Sutro Estate, and we'll jump in hella and get going, and I'll bring you along. was the first naval shipyard built on the west coast of the United States. It operated for 142 years. Didn't shut down until 1996. So there's all kinds of cool stuff out here. I don't know the story with these tall ships. I wish I could walk up to them. I'll try to find a way out there. But these huge old cranes are everywhere and they are so cool. You can catch a ferry from downtown San Francisco out here to Mare Island. It's not all the runs every day, but they do a few runs here. Most of their runs go to Vallejo across the waterway here. These passenger ferries, they're not car ferries, just foot ferries, are a really fun ride across the bay. They kick it in and haul ass. Big rooster tails behind these boats when they're cruising across the bay. It's a hoot. They built ships for the Navy here, vessels of all kinds, from I believe late 1800s or mid 1800s. They built submarines here for World War II, attack ships. Got this anchor here that was for a diesel electric sub called the USS Trapang. And so there's a lot of this kind of stuff on display. Actually, this base is, or this naval shipyard, is where they built the first atomic submarine for the U.S. Navy, built on the West Coast. Most of those were built on the East Coast, but they built one here. So there's a number of these big old dry dock facilities of different sizes for different kinds of vessels. And I just love that this is all in the public sphere. I mean, it's not like you can walk around down in the dry dock, but you can get right up close to things. And old industrial engineering like this just flips my switch. There's an arts community developing here. This wasn't here last time I was here a couple years ago. Pretty cool to see pieces like this. This is really something. This was the birthplace of a nuclear ballistic submarine called the Mariano G Vallejo. And they actually retired it here and managed to get this memorial funded to save the sail, as they say. This was the sail from that nuclear submarine, and it was literally built in this very spot in this dry dock. And so now it stands here as a tribute to those crews and the guys who built it, men and women who built it. And it's pretty neat to see an actual sail from a ballistic submarine that was plying the waters for a few decades. Really cool. Pretty amazing to think of all the submariners that called this vessel home for their tours. They had faithfully served and never failed any of them. That's pretty amazing. Now, something you may not know, and I didn't know until just a couple years ago, is that the sails of these earlier submarines were not part of the pressure vessel. You know, that was all below the main body of the submarine. And that's why you'll see windows. See little windows up there? Huge finger. Ooh. Some of them had windows. The Soviet Navy was famous for, the Russian subs for having pretty big windows in the sail. And I always thought, wow, they can like go up there and look out the windows while they're underway below the surface. No. Those are viewing areas like a weather deck to keep them protected while they're on the surface cruising, and they don't have to be subjected to crazy Arctic, horribly wet, cold conditions. They can be in that, in the sail without having to be up on top where they'd be getting blasted with water and freezing conditions. And so it's pretty cool to understand now that, you know, that's just for when they're cruising on the surface. It's another place they can be to observe forward. You can see all the basic statistics of the Vallejo. this ballistic missile nuclear submarine that was built right here, as well as information about its namesake, Mariano Vallejo. I love this picture of the christening. I don't know if you know this, but it is an old sailor thing that if that bottle doesn't break on the first try when you christen a new vessel, it's super bad luck. It's like the ship is cursed. And it has happened a few times in history, so now no matter who they have breaking that bottle of champagne on the bow of a vessel, they make sure they understand you've got to hit this thing hard. Here's another one of the dry docks, a much deeper one, a little different design than the others that haul up on a tray. And something I absolutely love about California that isn't the case in Washington State, where I started out all my travels, is you go places like this and there's still so much access to the stuff. You're not fenced off. It's not all curated. And you can get up to it and you can touch it and see it. And if you're a mechanical mind like me, you can understand how it works. You know, they aren't making it so completely safe for anybody. I love it. Absolutely love that they don't make the access impossible purely for matters of protecting, forgive me, but people who have no common sense. So you get to get up close to this machinery. And that is just so rad to me. I mean, it's not like you can go out somewhere that's really dangerous, but it is enough access that you could hurt yourself if you're really stupid. I mean, there's nothing to keep you from climbing up on that thing, which would be very unwise. But yeah, I love the access. So cool. They have a number more, obviously, of dry docks, but these are the only ones you get like this total access to. But it's enough, because they're still working and building on stuff out here. It's not Navy anymore, though I have seen naval vessels docked out here, but it is still a functional shipyard on parts of Mare Island. And then of course there's all the cool old shop buildings where all the stuff was fabricated and hauled out to be welded in, bolted in, huge sections of things. All the stuff you'd need in a ship. They built everything out here. I mean, it would be amazing to see inside some of these old workspaces, because you can see it is classic stuff. I'm going to try to get my phone up to this. I mean, look at that. I would love to wander around in there. I'm walking around here and I see a sign, Mare Island Museum. I'm like, woohoo! Temporarily closed due to seismic conditions. Oh, God, I swear I have rough luck with museums when I'm on the road. So in their little park here, they have cannons on display. Looks like somebody made off with one of them. I know, not for real. It's just funny seeing the cradle there. So that's kind of cool. Ooh, that's an old one. In the park here, they have this bell that was cast in England in 1860, and it was the actual bell that signaled the start of work and the end of work on the island for some long period of time. They didn't say exactly when. And this is called a spar torpedo. Civil War period, secured to the end of a spar, exploded on contact. That sounds really risky for the vessel deploying it. Wow, it's interesting. Just this cannon in overgrown greenery here in the park with no signage. It's actually kind of cool. There's this obelisk in the park that has a lot of their milestones, which is really cool. USS Saginaw launched first Mare Island constructed ship, March of 1859. Talk about more construction stuff here. Come around to the next side. First flight deck, USS Pennsylvania, January of 1911. USS Ward launched in 17 and a half days, world record, June of 1918. Battleship, they built a battleship. Wow. USS California launched November of 1919. And the submarine, the USS Nautilus, launched in March of 1930. Or on this side, the USS Sargo launched. First nuclear submarine, October of 1957. That's the first nuclear sub here. Then the Mariano Vallejo, that might be their first ballistic missile submarine, October of 65. And then the USS Drum, final launching, May 23rd, 1970. Shipyard closed March 31st, 1996. Last but certainly not least, this is the top 2/3 of a Polaris ballistic nuclear missile that was sub-launched. Pretty amazing that they saved one of these and made it part of this park. It's obviously not the entire missile, but that's something. And of course, as is always the case with the glory days of these military bases, there's all these beautiful structures. You know, officers' quarters, high up officers' homes. I mean, it's really something. This was quite the going concern here back in the day. And look at this giant Seymour plant. I don't even know what this is, but that is a huge, huge plant. I mean, those blossoms are like 8 feet up there. I wish you could see the real scope of this plant. I'm like, what am I looking at? Interesting. This is the post office and it shows hours 9 to 3:30 Monday through Friday, but obviously it's not in operation anymore. There's a lot of that here. These buildings look like you could walk right up and go in and you get to the door and it's either chained up or signage or what have you. It's very, very interesting. So many major structures just sitting here empty. And I wonder if it's still all federal government property, because there's a lot of private development happening out here too. In like the old coal sheds, there's a restaurant and a brew pub, some art stuff. So it's like it's getting repurposed, which is really cool. Again, I'm saying cool a lot. There's a pretty big section of buildings just laying derelict. I like seeing them restored, but I also like seeing them just aging too. It's a beautiful evening, and I didn't even realize that this is a river flowing by the shipyards. It's the Napa River. How about that? I'll put some old historic photos in here. So many vessels were built in these slips. This one's got to be at least 600 feet long. It's cool to see it just sitting idle and with nature kind of reclaiming parts of it. Yeah, this place has just got amazing character. Really something. And I just noticed in the distance, in the area I can't go, it's a little surprise. There's one of our 2 icebreakers in the Coast Guard. Pretty sure that's one I'm looking at. I recognize her from Seattle. Could be wrong, but that sure looks like her. So I parked in this spot overnight twice before. It's always worked out just fine. It's a neat spot. Cool traffic goes by on the river, and I just really like it. All right, y'all. Last night didn't go as planned. More proof that Mare Island is getting redeveloped quite a bit. Like almost 1 o'clock in the morning, I got the knock. Bang, 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 bang on the side. I'm like, ah. Went up to the cab. Security guard, he was very professional and polite. Said, how we got a report of a strange vehicle parked out here. I'm like, okay. He says, yeah, you can't park here. And I said, where on the island can I park? And he told me where. And got everything ready to roll and went to that spot. but it was a crappy spot, really noisy, and apparently, I mean, of course, your adrenaline goes through the roof when you get the knock. So it took me like an hour and a half to get back to sleep in the new spot. So then it was like 3 by the time I got to sleep. And at 5 o'clock, there's some kind of shift change. Traffic, all of a sudden, all guys coming in, guys going out, ripping around. Woke me up, so I'm like, oh, screw it, I'll run right now. So I had planned to do more clips on Mare Island, you know, in the morning before I rolled, but didn't happen. And I wasn't in the mood to put up the camera and video myself driving out of there. So I ran to Willows, settled down, got some groceries, and hunkered down in the shade for the heat of the day. Then ran a little bit further up here to Orland and spend the night at a truck stop, like a travel center, and roll the final 60 miles to Redding tomorrow. So anyway, didn't go as planned, but hey, that's life sometimes. But I'm loving the temps. It was 91 degrees here today. Low tonight is 60. That works for this wolf. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the vid. Don't know what I'll serve up next week. We'll find out then.